Billionaires in the United States are selling stocks by the boatload, which causes people to be concerned about an imminent financial catastrophe. Mark Zuckerberg, the fourth richest person in the world, sold approximately 1.4 million Meta shares for approximately 638 million buckaroos presently. Jeff Bezos, the third richest man in the world, unloaded $8.5 billion worth of Amazon shares this month. He is the third richest guy behind Bernard Arnault of Louis Vuitton and Elon Musk, respectively. In his first cash out since taking the reins at the bank nearly 20 years ago, Jamie Dimon, chairman and CEO of JP Morgan, announced this past week that he had received $50 million. He is expected to receive additional cash within the next few days. Within 4 years, Leon Black, who works for Apollo Global Management, made his very first sale, which resulted in a loss of $72.81. Walmart's Walden family sold $1.5 billion in a week, bringing its total sale proceeds to $2.3 billion since December. That's a lot, ladies and gentlemen, and all these transactions were made within weeks of each other and have sparked conversation amongst onlookers. Some theories are that this could be the result of the looming election and fears over the results of that, but we don't know. We do know that big changes are on the wind, big financial changes, concerns with banks. Certainly, these people would have a heads up on this information before we would. So what does it all mean? That's a lot of stocks, that's lots of dollars worth of material right there. And we know, again, as I just said, big changes are coming to the financial sector. And we know that this world is moving toward a one-world digital money system, which will eventually be overseen by the son of perdition, the Antichrist. We will have to wait and see. We surf here in the real world, living day to day, in many cases paycheck to paycheck. We'll have to see where this goes, but we will not be given over to the spirit of fear. God will meet us at our every point of need, and we will just press into Jesus with everything we have, because he is all we need. Referring to Amazon by name, the next book in the Wayfair Stories series is going to be released only a short while from now, and it is going to be called X4. There is a lot of love and romance, there is a lot of drama, there is a lot of suspense. There's a lot of biometric surveillance, it has a phone app that has taken the world by storm. These are things that I could see happening, ladies and gentlemen. People are doing very stupid and very dangerous things on their phones because of this app. There is a lot of drama, there is a lot of thrills, there is a lot of suspense. I hope that you have a look at it. I will let you know when it is on the market, which should be very soon. It has been reported that American billionaires are selling equities by the boatload, which has sparked concerns about an imminent financial catastrophe. During just 1 month, Jeff Bezos, who is the third richest person in the world after Bernard Arnault of Louis Vuitton and Elon Musk, sold $8.5 billion worth of Amazon shares. For around $638 million, Mark Zuckerberg, who is the fourth richest person in the world, sold approximately 1.4 million Meta shares. During the last week, Jamie Dimon, the chairman and CEO of JP Morgan, received a cash payout of $150 million. This is the first cash out he has received since he took over the business nearly 20 years ago. In a matter of days, Leon Black, who had been with Apollo Global Management for 34 years, also completed his very first sale, which resulted in a loss of $172.8 million in his equity firm. The Walden family, who owns Walmart, made $1.5 billion in sales in a single week, boosting the company's total sales proceeds since December to $2.3 billion. Several transactions were carried out within a span of a few weeks of one another, and they have already prompted discussion among those who are observing them. As the S&P 500 index, which is a reasonable barometer of the bigger economy, continues to remain at an all-time high, experts this week suggested that the sales could be the result of the upcoming election. If you are reading the tea leaves and looking at what may happen with our politics in the next year or so, things are pretty good right now. The markets are up, said Alan Johnson, a consultant for a financial firm, to Fortune at the end of the previous month. The employee at Johnson Associates, which is located in Manhattan, went on to say that the sales could be the result of a possibly volatile decline that coincided with the forthcoming general election. With our politics and everything else going on geopolitically, maybe it won't be as good a year from now or 2 years from now, he admitted. These are just some of the things that are happening. The expert then went on to discuss the recent and remarkable performance of the S&P 500, pointing out that it has increased by more than 27% over the previous year. Johnson recalled that this new development led to the addition of billions of dollars to the portfolios of the executives who were responsible for the recent sales within a year. He also mentioned that these executives are today more in the money than was anticipated. According to Johnson, this is the reason why diversifying their holdings is a good idea, at least from the perspective of an investor. As the stockholders hedge their bets, they may also be taking advantage of the tax incentives that are now in place if these breaks are repealed under a new administration, according to the comments of the finance consultant. Johnson stated that a significant number of these exemptions were implemented during the administration of Trump, which indicates that if Biden were to win, it would mean that they would finally be laid to rest. There have been statements made by important participants in the financial industry in recent weeks, some of which have suggested that the abrupt stock dump could be the consequence of something more significant going on behind the scenes. These statements have further stoked anxieties. An advertisement video that was uploaded to the website American Hartford Gold, a company that sells gold and other metals to investors, warned that the big liquidations may be an indication of an economic downturn that is still to come. The film was produced at the end of the previous month. Mekhi Block, the senior director, was the one who voiced the concern. He indicated that the CEOs were getting out before the tech bubble bursts by utilizing their unique perspectives on the economy. The tape from February 29 features him saying, "Billionaire CEOs such as Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, Jamie Dimon, and the Walton family are selling off massive amounts of their stocks, and analysts think the CEOs may be bracing themselves for an economic downturn." An overheated stock market continues to rise to new heights, he added, as investors feed that frenzy out of fear of missing out, economic insiders are unloading billions of dollars worth of stocks. He was referring to the fact that individuals are selling stocks worth billions of dollars. Although it is not known what motivated them, he stated that their purpose could hold serious implications for regular Americans. He went on to describe the transactions and the individuals who were responsible for them, and then he presented a theory that was strikingly similar to the one proposed by Johnson and several other seasoned specialists. These stocks are being sold as the S&P 500 index is at an all-time high, he claimed. He attributed this milestone to just 7 firms, many of which were funded during the period in question. Additionally, he stated that the S&P 500 index is at an all-time high. Following that, he went on to discuss the performance of these firms about the growth of the S&P. The stock of Meta has increased by 186%, the stock of JP Morgan has increased by approximately 30%, and the stock of Amazon has increased by around 90%. According to him, all 3 firms are trading at or very near their all-time highs. Analysts believe that the upcoming election and the volatility that it will almost certainly bring could be the catalyst for this widespread selling. The act of selling, he continued, implies that the shares are fully valued, and it is time to get out while the getting is good. In the same vein as Johnson, he entertained the idea that affluent investors would be interested in taking advantage of stock breaks that were implemented during the Trump administration before they were possibly revoked by the new Congress. Selling massive chunks of stocks may also send a more dire message to individual investors, he cautioned another time. This is a very serious matter. In general, when chief executive officers purchase shares of a firm, it demonstrates that they have faith in the company's potential for future success. It is also possible that these billionaires' view from above could be providing them with a different perspective of the economy and where it is headed, the author writes. He encouraged people in the United States to get in touch with the company to purchase gold as a means of mitigating the financial risk that is associated with stock markets. He cited the fact that Dimon had lately raised the alarm about the stratospheric expansion of the government's debt, as well as the lasting effects of inflation and the escalating geopolitical tensions. A little more than a week later, as a consequence of this, gold was trading at a value of approximately USD 21.93 per ounce, which was close to record highs. Did you like it? Tell us what you think of the video in the comments section below, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more interesting videos.